you guys have been friends. You, Murr, Sal, and Q.
Yeah, 30
now,
years.
Q's the only Irish one. Murray, what?
Murray's
two
got
Irish
too. Yeah, I'm the only full breed Italian.
Oh, because Sal's got the Cuban and Puerto Rican.
He's got the sexy Latino.
That's what I on the Jokers cruise. You guys do a lot of dancing, a lot of music, and you could tell.
Yeah,
you could tell Sal's got the only one with a little
sexy gelatin.
Yeah, he's the only one. His moves match. He matches the music sometimes.
Yeah,
your energy's big.
My energy's big.
Yeah,
I dance with confidence. I dance like I should know. I dance like I don't care what I look like, and it matches my like that's the energy I bring. It's like you dance. It's like you should not be as confident as you are, but I'm on board with it. Like I confuse them with it.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, you go. It looks a little bit like you were being burned by a car cigarette lighter.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? And that's my move. And you remembered it, so you're welcome.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah, Sal's smooth up there. And was there ever like a fifth Joker like the Beatles?
No, there was a fourth that Q replaced. So we had a drop off. Yeah, there was a Tenderloin that had gotten a good job and got married and grew up faster than the rest of us, I guess. And he had to make a decision because his time was too valuable to, he got a big PR firm job. Good friend of ours, Mike, still friend of ours, great guy. And he fell out, and then that left us an opening, and Q came in. Yeah. And this was during the turning point when we started doing sketch comedy online.
And was Q a friend from high school too?
100%, yeah.
And he was a firefighter.
So there was really 5 of us from high school that were friends, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Q was a firefighter too?
Firefighter, yeah.
And so he kept being a firefighter while you guys were doing
season 1 and 2, him and Sal, everybody kept their jobs. I was the only one that had to quit.
Right.
So I was doing baby store salesman. I was working for this company called Giggle. Right. Which was high-end baby furniture. And I was slinging baby merch like nobody's business in Soho as a personal shopper. Yeah. I got moved over to the corporate side, and I was a training program manager. I opened new stores. Yeah. But because I was a good salesman, she'd cook the book. She'd send me for 3 weeks. So when the stores open, I would crush it. She'd be like, look how good our store is doing in Pasadena, So one of those, which was great. And so I was doing that, and then we had to film the pilot, so I had to take my 2 weeks vacation. Then they picked up the pilot, and they needed 6 months to shoot season 1. So I said, hey, I'm going to have to take a 6-month hiatus. And she goes, oh, so you're quitting? Yeah. I was like, no. I was like, I'll be back. She's like, well, I can't not have a training program manager for 6 months. She's like, so good luck to you. And if it doesn't work out, and if there's room for you, you're welcome back. And I was like, okay. So I quit my job, and I was all in. But Murr was working for the production company that produced the show. Right. And Sal was a bartender. I know he owned a place in Staten Island. And Q was a firefighter. So Q would work his 24, come to set, do the show, go home for a day, then come back to the same thing. And then Sal would go. We'd film until he had to leave to go to work. He would go work overnight and then come the next day and stuff. So it was interesting that everybody kept their jobs for 2 years. Yeah. But I just jumped in, which made me really produce. Like really, I was really involved. And all the way through the run of it, I was very involved with everything from writing the first joke to the final edit, Yeah. And I love that part of it. So, I always wanted to be a director and screenwriter. So that really was like, oh, I get to do this. Yeah. Fulfilling.
You guys should make a movie about the story of the show. Like you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your movie was great. I went to that, too. Yeah. Me and Chris went to that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was fun. And, it was like the show.
Yep.
But you guys should do a movie about, like
a documentary of, about what we...
or, write a movie about... Because it's such
making of the Jokers.
It's such a fun story. Yeah. Because you guys are just, like... And I think that's what part of what endeared you so much to everybody is, like, you guys are such... humble, normal guys.
Well, we didn't. Yeah, it didn't click to us like with 34.
Yeah,
so you're the person you got to be.
Yeah, I mean, how funny is that? Q's fucking. He's fighting fire. He's up there.
He's literally saving a guy. Yeah, and then we're like, oh, dude, tell her you farted. He literally pulling a man out of an burning elevator. True story. Like he got a medal for saving a guy from an elevator. Yeah. Then he came to work the next day and he had to do announce funny names in an office. It's like, dude, what is? Crazy.
Yeah, he's got a job where he's got to carry, he's got to be able to carry his body weight plus 20, and he's going in.
And he's also a firefighter.
And they go, hey, Q, how you doing? Yeah, you doing a shift tomorrow? Yeah, I'm cooking tomorrow. We're doing chicken franchise. And then he's going, okay, guys, I got to go do a little zip zap zoom.
Come back.
Did you guys warm up with any of the improv games?
We threw zip zap zooms at each other. We're not above a zip zap zoom. All greats too. You're not going to tell them that we did it before we started this podcast?
Absolutely, we did. And we did wow. What was the other one?
Wow.
So how did you guys discover that you guys all wanted to perform together? Like, because I know you guys all went to college.
Yeah. So we did improv comedy.
You got an accounting degree.
I got my accounting degree.
Sal got his degree in
finance. Yep. He
and
was a
gifting.
business system analyst.
He's a good gifter.
He's a great gifter.
He's a great gifter.
He's one of the best. He's up there with Steve Byrne for me. Steve Byrne's
Steve Byrne's a good one?
Oh, my God. Steve Byrne's the best gifter in the world.
Steve Byrne is a great guy.
He's a great dude, yeah. He's the best. I've been working with him a lot now, which is really fun. And
you guys got a podcast.
We have a podcast together, yeah. Two cool moms, which is fun. Because we both had moms that gave great maternal advice, and we both feel like we captured that.
Right.
So we start off telling stories, and then we take fan-submitted dilemmas, and we solve them as best we can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes great, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always funny.
Yeah.
So
and Steve is a hilarious stand-up. Steve, he had that show on TBS for a little while. Sullivan and Son.
He does a lot of comedy specials. He's great. I actually just directed his latest comedy special for Amazon Prime.
That's so cool.
Yeah, which is really cool. It was a really fun experience.
I love that about this era now. You know, like friends can kind of collaborate on something, make it happen, go straight to the fans.
I mean, like this. Like I just love what you do. You make me laugh, and I just said, hey, you're great, and then you're like, hey, you want to come on? This is awesome.
And I appreciate that very much. Thank you. But yeah, it is very cool. Like it doesn't. There's no. It's not a protracted process. It's not slow. You just kind of like, hey, yeah, you want to do it? Boom, 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 and it just kind of happens. You don't have to have like 100 meetings, and then
you put the the power to do it in the hands of the creatives instead of like the business part.
How loose was True TV with you guys as far as the ideas?
Pretty.
They were.
It took us a minute to get there, but once we got it, it was pretty. Like season, after you do season 4 or 5, it's kind of like, no, you shouldn't. But like, well, we're gonna try it,
right?
And they're like, okay, and then it worked, and they're like, okay, so it was like that, but. We got on board with the network exec really tightly, Simi, who was the guy who ran it there, and he was very. I always find it's easier, like if you collaborate with people instead of telling them what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we would talk to him a lot, and then if he had questions, his questions were normally pretty good. Like there's sometimes with anybody that it's a network person. A lot of times they just don't understand the comedy. It was more that he didn't understand what we were talking about.
Right.
So once you talk him through it, and you're as excited in there because they're not in the room, right? You're in the writers' room, you're dying laughing about this stupid idea. Like I remember one, it was like they made me a massage chair.
Yeah.
And that was the idea in the room. It was like, what if Joe was a massage chair?
Right.
And they were like, what happens? It's like, Joe's a massage chair. Yeah. And it's like, we were dying laughing at literally just that. So we sent it in, the punishment, Joe's a massage chair.
Yeah.
And he's like, what does this mean? It's like, I'm a massage chair.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, so what happens? I'm like, well, I'm a chair.
Yeah.
And people come sit on me.
Yeah.
I'm a massage chair. And he was like, all right. And he's like, so what? And then we started being like, I was like, no, we don't think you're envisioning it correctly. This is what that. And he was like, oh, all right, I get it. And they just had to talk him through it.
Right.
And it ended up being one
and was it a lot of it sometimes your guys' enthusiasm that kind of just convinced them? Because that's I know you now a little bit. I know Sal. You guys are so enthusiastic, and like your friendship seems authentic, and you're like normal guys, and like I would just say yes to everything because like it's so easy to fall in love with all you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys are still all friends?
100%, yeah.
How the fuck did you do that? How did that happen? Like, especially as the show got bigger. Well, the Rolling Stones fucking hate each other. they just show up on stage and they just fucking.
We didn't have time. I didn't have time to. I don't think because with the touring and everything. Like, look, there was one time that we saw each other for 32 days straight.
Right.
Like every day for 32 days. Like think about that for a second. That's like a month. That's a 12th of the year we were together, like working or either doing promo or the cruise. It was like one of those where we were just all together. And if you can't be together, then you would end up just destroying each other, Right. So I think that was part of it. But it started with friendship. Like we were really friends. So it wasn't like a cast that got put together or people that didn't know each other's histories, who know each other's parents. We've been there for each other through a lot. So I think that helps the baseline. I always say that the show was more about friendship than it was a comedy.
Yeah.
Watching 4 friends be friends. Like this is literally how I make these guys laugh.
Yeah.
I embarrass myself. I don't give a shit. I have fun. Yeah. And I make my friends laugh. And if I see them crack, I just keep digging until they crumble. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's really what we did.
That's what really made it unique. And it was a massive hit. And I figured at one point maybe you'd go in and you'd have to say to True TV, like, do you guys want to sign a deal with us? Yeah. Do you want us to re-sign you? Because, your show was always on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave us a development deal, which we worked on for a little bit. I think the guys still have it, but, I'm not part of that business anymore. But they did like jump in and we had to, we saw so many changes at that network. Literally 4 presidents came, one show, 4 presidents came and went. So when somebody new comes in, they have to be like, oh, and like instead of being like, okay, this is what we're going to do to us, they'd be like, don't touch it. It's the one that's working.
Right.
So that kind of helped us, I think.
Right.
Where it was like, it works. don't fucking don't kill the golden goose. Let them do their thing, you know. And people are kind of timid with it too, right? Because they're going to be like, what are they going to say to you? It's just 300th episode. They're going to be like, here's an idea.
Right.
Like,
right.
It's like, you know, they just kind of got out of the way. And we weren't dicks about it, but if they said something we didn't agree with, we'd be like, well, it's not really on brand for us.
Yeah.
Like we could talk to the brand more than a person that just started.
Yeah.
You know? So it was
it's really not on brand for us. It's a good way to say. It's a very nice way to say fuck off.
Well, they would throw it back at you.
Yeah.
They would throw it back at you sometimes. They're like, is that really jokery? Like there was like a term that got thrown around for a while. Is that jokery? How do we make it jokery?
Right.
Like that was like joke. They made it when they make it an adjective, you know you're pretty safe.
Yeah. Yeah, when they've created a word. Yeah. This is how successful it was because, you know, you guys were like, what, 2010 or 11?
2011.
Till now, right?
Yeah.
So it was like that period, TV was still very, you know, in the conversation. It still is. I'm not saying it's not, but back then as comedians, we were constantly pitching. I mean, I pitched to True TV a bunch of times, and every show they kind of brought up, how can we make this sort of a competition between you guys?
Right,
they tried to like jokerize it.
Yeah, yep, of course.
Every single
Well, for a
idea.
long time, they were trying to find a companion show for us.
Yeah.
Instead of just playing repeats of us.
Why didn't they just do like the girls' version of Ghostbusters? Why didn't they just get a couple of girls?
Because the magic of the show was that we were real.
Yeah, but
friends.
Hollywood always fucks it up.
Yeah,
they could
true.
cast it and just take some girl named Janine. Take some
I think a lot of people tried it. Like MTV had a couple shows that were like
tried to
basically
copy
kind of us.
Yeah.
And it was like us but not us, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work. There was a lot of versions like that happened overseas.
Oh, they did it?
There's like, you know,
I would love to see
there's
those.
like Belgium jokers.
Yeah.
Called like Das Fuckers. Yes, it was. The name of the show was Das Fuckers.
Das Fuckers.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like crazy. You know, there was a Lebanese version. It was like a bunch of different versions that just played everywhere.